In this video, we're going to share some of the things we do specifically for our motorhome to prepare for the winter if we have to stay somewhere cold for a prolonged time. We'll also share some of the stuff we hear others do with other types of rigs and setups. This first one is not really specific to winter, but I was up looking at the roof for just basic inspection, general maintenance, and I found this hole in the roof that I don't know how it formed, but I put some Eternabond on it to get it sealed up. You can see some duct tape, Gorilla Tape residue there from previous times when I had Starlink tape down up there. But in the center of that, where you can see that bump, is where the hole had formed. And this way, at least the ice and snow that will land on the roof over the winter won't get moisture into this small opening that formed. So definitely specific to any time of year, but it's good to get done before going into a long winter. Last year, we spent the first 2 weeks of November in Omaha and the second 2 weeks of November in Denver. So since it was a shorter time, we really didn't set up anything special for winter. We just simply unhooked the dump hose and kept it put away. And when it was time to dump, I'd hook it up and do it and then put things away. This year, we're going to be here for several months due to medical issues and having to stay in the area. So we really wanted to take precautions on being able to leave the dump hose permanently connected and have that convenience that we have the rest of the year. I talked to the locals here, the staff and the owner, and what they do is build a custom PVC pipe from their dump hose where it connects inside the rig to the dump station, the place where you hook up the hose to dump into the sewer connection. And I really didn't want to mess with PVC. I don't know why. It's a little more expensive and it just feels rigid. And I was kind of a concern with any movement of the rig and having that PVC connected. Maybe it's not a problem, but I just really went a different path. So I'll show you here what we had come up with was taking our regular dump hose, wrapping it in foil, and then I attached heated tape to the bottom of it. And this tape will automatically warm slightly the bottom of the hose when a temperature probe on that heat tape exposed outside detects low temperatures. So then we bought this section of insulated ducting that the hose would fit in down the center. So we just shoved it through that, and then this will be in place, hooked up to the motorhome and over to the sewer dumping connection. And with the heat tape inside and the insulated wrap around it, we believe that this is going to give us adequate warming necessary for the dump hose to function all season. We did have the heated water hose last year, so this year I got that out and got it set up. So I think a heated water hose makes a ton of sense. And then you protect the spigot. It's either wrapped and heated or you have a way to keep it from freezing. These things are not cheap, and I know a lot of people that just buy like pipe insulation or put heated tape on them inside some sort of insulation. So there's ways to make your own for less money, but I had bought this last year. With these, you do plug them in, and then there's also a temperature probe on the outside piece of the hose. So it's only heating when temperatures dictate that it should, and then it stops heating when the temperature warms up. So it's not on all the time. Here I built a waterproof protection around the Y-splitter cable to keep water from getting inside those connections, and as well another box for the car charger to keep pooling water from affecting it. Although it's underneath the trailer, there could be pooling water, so I wanted to get that off the ground and protected. Here's the heated hose hooked up and plugged in and headed toward the spigot. And here's the water spigot with a bucket over the top, and then the dump hose wrapped in the insulation. Here's inside the bay where the dump hose and the insulation come up inside to try to keep the cold air out. More details now. There's a small space heater inside the sewer dump bay, and it keeps the valves from freezing up. The power cord here is for the heat tape on the dump hose. There is a power strip that's remote controlled to turn the heater on when the temperature gets too low, and a leak sensor in this bay. Check out that video on advanced leak detection. And then the dump hose outside with the insulation and the heat tape underneath it inside there into the sewer dumping hole, and then the heated water hose into the spigot. This bucket keeps the water off our motorized valve and also allows this heat from this heat, this lamp, this work lamp, to be contained and keep that whole section from freezing when it's super cold outside. This is another bay where we added a small space heater with an automated power strip and a temperature sensor so we can kick that on when it's super cold out and prevent these plumbing lines from possibly freezing. Another precaution we're taking is putting some insulated foam underneath all of our slides, and this is to block cold air from coming in, possibly keeping bugs out as well. We might do this year round, but with winter coming, we wanted to get this done. I've got the start on this slide. I don't have it finished yet. You can see on the two edge pieces I have foam put in place. I have to finish the rest. So a few more things that we do is, and again, not winter specific, but we do spray for bugs around the inside and the outside of the rig with just a jug of insect spray from Walmart. I think as the weather gets colder, some of the bugs might want to come in and find a warm space. So I do spray again going into the cold season. Also, I've got more of the foam insulation to install around our slides, and then that'll wrap us up for the preparation. I wanted to mention some of the things that some people do is add skirting in some RVs. Skirting is common. We believe that the skirting should not be required for our rig. We have nothing exposed down there, and the floor has a good level of insulation with the basement bays being between the floor and the outside space. Our basement is not heated, but the water tanks are wrapped in heated blankets, so we can turn those heated blankets on when the temperature gets low outside. The skirting is really when people buy insulated foam boards and they install those foam boards around the entire outside of the rig from the ground to the rig to prevent air and wind from blowing through there. A lot of them will have exposed plumbing and dump valves that have to be protected by doing that, and they would have less buffer between their floor and the outside world than what we have. So that skirting becomes more important for a lot of campers that have that set up. So to summarize the things that we saw in this video, we have the heated dump hose. We could have bought a heated dump hose for $500, but I decided to go with a strip of heat tape, a 12-foot strip of heat tape, and that piece of aluminum foil wrapped insulation barrier. The dump hose goes in that insulation. The heat tape is attached to the dump hose itself, and we believe that's going to keep us thawed out and leave that dump hose in place for the season. We decided not to do the PVC option that a lot of people do. We'll see if that was a good idea or a bad idea. We have the heated drinking water hose. It is drinking water safe. We bought that last year and it worked well. It only turns on when the temperature dictates it via a temperature sensor that's on the end of the hose that's outside on the ground there. We did insulate under the slides. I've got to finish that up, but we're going to add insulation to close up all those gaps just to keep any cold breeze or air from seeping in those places. Please see our advanced leak detection video. It's about water leak detection and then some temperature sensors and automating some cool things with turning off the water when the leak is detected, or using the temperature sensors to kick on some power strips and turn on those space heaters. That's probably my favorite video of all time that we've created. And then we have the small space heaters in a couple of locations underneath where we just want to take some extra precaution with 350-watt space heaters that'll just keep the edge off and make sure that no cold seeps in there to the point of doing any damage to that. And again, as I mentioned, we spray for bugs and make sure that we don't get any extra bugs coming in for some warmth. So with that, that's the conclusion of our winter preparation video, and we hope it was helpful. If this is useful at all or entertaining in any way, please like and subscribe. We would like YouTube to put our content in front of more people. This is really fun for us to create these videos, and I would like to have more time to make them, to be honest. So like and subscribe, tell your friends, all that good stuff. Check out the Instagram page. Rhoda runs that for us. Also, Traveling with Troy and Rhoda. She doesn't update as much when we're not traveling, but don't forget to check that out. Thanks for watching.